Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hardcore Heroes Editions. For those of you that are new to Hardcore Heroes, as the concept is a new second edition show that will be coming out hopefully fairly soon. That is notably hardcore and difficult. Character death happens at 0 HP. There's no on death's doorstep or wounded. It's alive and capable of doing things and dead. I guess you could be unconscious, but it's difficult to get unconscious. You're more likely to just get killed. And then, of course, when characters die, players are removed from the show, and a four-person show just becomes a three-person show, and then a two-person show. There's no fillers, there's no replacements. The cast will slowly get whittled down as the show goes on. Or not. We'll see. It depends on how it goes. But in the meantime, we have CJ here to audition for it. CJ, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm CJ. I live on the East Coast of the United States. I've been playing role-playing games for about 3 years. Started with first edition D&D with my family, and been working my way up ever since. I've never had any experience with Pathfinder or 3.5 or any of that, but I'm pretty familiar with 2.0, and I'm excited to do this.
Sweet. Well, let's start rolling those stats. 3d6, and you can arrange or keep it a line.
Sure.
And we pray that not everyone dies in
God.
the first session. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What am I at? 5? Come on.
6, 4,
All
11,
right.
12, 9, 8, 10.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I'm so happy to see low stats.
I almost typed in chat I could work with one good score. Almost.
Well, you have a couple of scores that are 9 or higher.
That is true. This character is indeed playable.
We had the first truly unplayable character I've ever seen rolled yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Those stats were beautiful.
6, 6, 8, 5, 4, 7. I've never seen a character without even a 9 before. That was that poor guy. But you have a 4 to work with, and that will bring out so many great things. Are you going to keep it in strength, or are you going to move it?
I think I'm going to move it. I think I'll move it to wisdom. So I'm going to do, let's see, 12. I'm going to rearrange everything. I'll do 12 in strength, 11 in charisma, then, oh god, yeah, 4 wisdom. Do I have all my stats? 4, 11, yes.
Yes.
We'll do 10 in dex, 9 in con,
and
that leaves the 8 for intelligence.
Okay.
Alright.
Low wisdom / low willpower fighter, I believe you had said before the show?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do fighter. We will do, I'm thinking half-elf.
Okay.
Hold on, let me just check. It has basically a human with better racial abilities, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I have a character sheet open right now. We'll do... And before I get much into my character, I learned in my application that it's good to roll a secondary skill to kind of get a feel for him. So I will roll that D100 if you don't mind.
Please go for it.
26. That's something boring, I think. 26 is a groom, animal handling. I could work with that. I'll write that in here. Works with horses in a stable, maybe. Maybe a stable hand.
Wow.
That was interesting. I was playing with the idea of being the kid of a retired adventurer who became a tavern keep.
Oh. Well, that would be
maybe
great.
Just coming of age.
It's a fantastic storyline to start with.
Let's do chaotic good. Gender male. Size medium. let's. Hmm. Let me think. Who is this young, naive, very low will-powered young adventurer? 11 charisma. He's pretty personable, averagely personable. Gets
Mm-hmm.
along with people around. Probably because his dad is so personable in the tavern. Meets lots of
Mm-hmm.
people every day.
Mm-hmm.
Speed is 12.
What type of adventurer was your father?
He was probably a fighter, although probably a mercenary. Less of what I want this character to be, and more of like a big bruiser.
Okay.
Probably has a big two-handed sword mounted over the mantelpiece.
Mm. So you're not carrying your father's weapon into battle.
I am not. It is much too big for me. I think I'm going to be shorter, about 5'8". Not actually that much shorter. And thinner because I'm half elf. I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming my mom was an elf.
Okay.
And, oh, you know what, maybe? He's my adopted father. I was left at the inn,
Ah.
and he brought me up.
Are these so these are both your adopted parents?
Right.
Okay.
We'll say 5'8". I think half elves would be around then 120 pounds. I'll roll for handedness. Right. Age, I think the youngest is 17, or is half elf like 21? I'm gonna put
No, you could
17.
you're roughly human age plus a little bit.
Yeah, he's 17. He's just coming of age. Just has a big kind of get together with his family. His dad's very proud of him. He wants to take off in his father's footsteps. Eyes will do hazel. So let me describe what he looks like. I think, as opposed to the usual long hair elven thing, since he's lived with his family, he has short hair, probably probably brown, maybe auburn. Let's do short auburn hair.
Okay.
Yeah, he usually works as the stable boy for the inn. That's what he's good at. He likes the animals. They like him. Maybe it has something to do with him being part elf.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me go down to money and equipment. So, I was thinking we'd describe it as my starting money is a little bit of coin my dad saved up for this particular reason.
Mm-hmm. Instead of a college fund, you have your adventuring fund.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
And for a warrior, it's actually pretty sizable.
Mm-hmm.
So I will roll that 5d4.
Nice.
130, decent. That's above average, I think. Yeah. 130. I don't know if he's gonna wear any armor. I'm gonna go check down at the armors. Maybe he wears blah 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 blah. Studded leather. Probably not. Probably just leather. Which is AC 9.
Yeah, studded leather would give you AC 7 or 13, depending on, up or down.
So yeah, let's go with studded leather then. That's 20 GP, so I'm down to 110, and we'll add equipment, studded leather. I'm a fighter, so I can pick a specialization for my weapon, right?
Yes.
If I so choose. Well, let me look at the weapons I can choose from. And my weapon, I usually put a little bit of story as to how my characters start with their weapons.
So how did you start with your weapon?
I think I'm gonna start with a scimitar.
Okay.
My books are being strange. There we go. I'm gonna double check to make sure it's what I want. Scimitar, it should be D6 slashing. Oh no, it's D8. Excellent. Ooh, maybe I could start with the... Yeah, no, I'll do the scimitar. And I started with it. We get... My dad runs a very large inn. Let's name him Bertrand.
Okay.
Bertrand runs a very large inn, and it is a huge, just gathering ground for adventurers of all types. Everyone likes to come in. Bertrand probably has a pretty high charisma. He is very good at getting returning customers and getting the inn's name spread around.
Okay.
And it was probably not too long ago. A cloaked, armored person from a far-off land, probably the deserts, walked into the inn, sat down at the bar, and my dad was off probably doing something, so I was running the bar. Struck up conversation with him, and after a night of talking, he kind of grew to like this Tavern Keeps kid, and we talked for probably hours just going through his stories, and he probably stayed that night, probably the next few nights, maybe he was wounded or something. And eventually, before he left, he gave me a gift of this beautifully curved scimitar. Nothing too special, just finely crafted steel, probably.
Okay. This is a steel. This part of the world has a problem with steel, actually. Most of the weapons here are bronze. A steel weapon would be something quite special. You can start with a steel weapon, but it will cost 3 times the normal amount.
You know what? I'm okay with that. 3 times the normal amount.
Okay.
So
Cool.
let me...
And just so you know, the in-game difference between steel and bronze is if someone's wearing bronze armor, your steel weapon gets a +1 to hit that armor. And if someone has a bronze weapon against your steel armor is +1 against that bronze.
Oh, I see. Very good. And do the bronze weapons have the chance to break?
No, scrapping the chance to break.
Okay.
This is a much smoother process.
I've been playing lots of Baldur's Gate recently. And weapon breaking has been a problem that I've been very frustrated with. Sure. I don't recall if there's anything special about the scimitar in 2nd edition from its description. I don't think so.
That's a good question. That's another one of those things that people often forget and look past, is that there are interesting effects on weapons if you actually read the descriptions of them.
Yeah, I was considering maybe a Kopesh instead of a scimitar, but I don't think so. It looks like just Bastard Sword and Kopesh have the extra little blurb. So if I'm doing studded leather, I think I'll do a shield too. So I have a scimitar. Shield. We'll just do a standard medium shield. And calculate my funds. Should put me down to 65. I think. Yep. Add a shield. I think that's another 10.
A buckler is 1 GP, a small shield is 3, a medium is 7.
7. Yep, so I'll do a medium shield. Leaves me with a good bit of gold. I have armor. Do equipment. I'm probably not going to start with too much. Oops. How about just So, do standard adventure equipment, I start off clothes. Do I start off with a backpack?
Clothes and backpack.
Okay. Hmm. I'll start off with, and I remember you telling Dan, dry rations are a gold a day? A pound a day.
A pound a day. I think they're 10 gold a week.
10 gold a week, so I will do a week's worth of that. Week dry rations. Wine skin.
8 silver.
Indeed.
They are 5 gold for 1 week of iron rations.
5 gold, okay.
Yes.
And I have 50 gold left. I'll probably do a lamp or a lantern instead of torches.
Okay.
So we'll do a bullseye lantern. No one really plays with them. Kind of works like a flashlight.
Mm-hmm. Kind of open and close. That's all.
Bullseye lantern. Oil. We'll do probably 2 flasks. That's 2 pounds, 3 pounds. Wineskin is 1 pound.
1 empty, 1 full. It weighs
3 or
like
5, I think.
Yeah, well, it depends on how much water you put into it, so you can customize the weight that way.
Yeah, we'll say it's 3 pounds of watered wine.
Okay.
1 week dry rations, a pound a day, so that's 7 pounds. Shield. Scroll down. A medium shield is 10 pounds. Scimitar is that 4 pounds? Yep. 4 pounds. That's right. I think I always like the scimitar better because it's... Oh, I don't know. It's the same thing as a longsword, except it only does D8 versus large. Maybe there was something about dual-wielding scimitars is easier than longswords.
Not in the 2nd edition rules. I think in 5th edition, scimitars are considered light weapons. So you can dual wield a scimitar and a knife, or if you have the dual wielding trait or whatever it is, you can have one of each. But in 2nd edition, they're, whatever.
So I always want to ask you a question. How come in your campaigns you never use the electrum piece?
I kind of find Electrum to not make a ton of sense. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's one of those pieces that you can easily pull out because an Electrum is 5 silver and 2 Electrum is 1 gold, and everything else is 10, 10, 10.
Yep, it doesn't fit into the...
It doesn't quite fit, so I always just kind of like scrap the Electrum.
Right.
Just simplicity.
Studded leather armor is 25 pounds. Let's see, I got rations and water, a lantern for light, my shield, my sword, my armor. I think that would be it. So, don't think I subtracted the oil from my gold. Should be another silver down. Okay, 40 gold and 8 copper. I wonder how much... I think a riding horse is 75 gold. I'm not going to be able to afford a horse.
Nope.
Probably not even a mount at all.
Definitely not on a groom's salary.
Definitely not. So, my languages, I have a mediocre. I don't think I'm smart enough to learn how to read or write. I think that requires a 9 int.
I don't think there's a stat requirement, but if you don't, it's just one of those things that you probably would have never picked up.
Right. I probably don't read or write at all. Um, my strength of a 12 is nothing, but I get 45 and 140 max press. I don't think I should even bother writing my open doors or bend bars, but I will anyway. 10 dexterity is, again, nothing. 10 to 14 is nothing. Constitution of a 9. I don't think I have any negatives. 65 and 70% chance. System shock, survival, or resurrection survival. 8 intelligence. That only gives me my one number of languages, so I know common. I think we've talked about this in multiple occasions. It's only the one, including common,
Well,
or get your starting language.
there is an argument to be made for both. The text to the side says that this is the number of languages you speak in addition to your native language.
Right.
However, at 1 intelligence, you get 0 languages, and there's a little asterisk next to it, and in the bottom it says, while this player cannot speak at all, they can communicate in grunts, which makes it sound like it's the number of languages you speak total. So,
Right.
if you can make a convincing argument one way or the other, we'll run with that.
Well, maybe we'll do this. I only have common as a language I can fully speak, but we'll say that over my time as a innkeep's hand, I can pick up a few words of Elvish.
Why Elvish? Not a lot of
Just
elves travel. Elvish is a very uncommon language.
right, and that is probably that and just curiosity with my heritage. Just learned that whenever an elf comes into the bar, I'm probably one of the ones first to greet them, talk to them, try to get a feel for them because I'm just so innately curious.
Okay, so Elven is something you have really searched out and attempted to learn how to speak as much as possible.
Right, but being
Okay.
as smart as I am, I only picked up a few phrases. My conjugation's probably all wrong. They probably make fun of me in Elvish and I wouldn't even know it. But
Okay.
I can understand a few words.
All right, you have a smattering of Elven.
Indeed. Alright, I think... So it's one language. I'm not even going to put anything for spells. Let's see how bad a 4 wisdom is. A -2 magical defense adjustment. Is that saving throw?
That is saving throw against anything magical in nature.
Awesome. But being half-elf, I already have a percentage chance immunity to charm and sleep, I think.
You do. You know your second edition.
You have 45% chance of spell failure. That's brilliant. That was my secondary. My plan B was to be a cleric if I got only one good stat and all the rest terrible stats.
Well, instead, you just got mediocre and then terrible.
Right.
Nice.
11 charisma. That is a 400. Alright. I don't plan on having any henchmen, but who knows. Alright. Fighters, they start with +0 to hit, I believe. +0 damage. So I should be rolling just the standard d20. However, I'm specialized, so I'm +1/+2.
Okay.
Does single specialization give you the 3 attacks every 2 rounds?
Yes.
Awesome. Speed 5. Type slashing. Weight 3. Size medium. And I always lose what page saving throws are on.
It's like the 3rd page from the last in the player's handbook. But fighter saves are 14, 16, 15, 17, 17.
14, 16, 15, 17, 17.
Yes.
And then anything to do with magic is +2. So my spell will be +2. Oh, I have a 19 spell save.
Mm-hmm.
Rod Staff 1 is +2. And I'll leave Paralyzation, Petrification, and Breath Weapon alone. My encumbrance, let's see what my weight total is up to. 35, 39, 46. So I'm already base encumbered 49, 52, 54 pounds. If I added that right, let's double check. 10, 20, 45, 59, yep. 54, so I'm at base encumbrance, or light encumbrance, I should say. Movement rate of 9, I think.
Yes. Is it 3/4 or is it 2/3? I can never remember. One would think encumbrance would be under time and movement instead of under money and equipment.
Right.
One would think a great many things about this.
So being a half-elf, age I don't think has anything to do with anything for me. Ooh, technically a half-elf can start at 16, but so can a human, never mind. Not used to those ages, I thought it was 17. So, warrior, my fighter class doesn't give me anything at level 1 other than my specialization, so let's go down to races. Elves, gnomes, half-elves. So, much like their elven parent in appearance, handsome, only slightly taller than average elf. Weighing about, okay, so I need to be a little bit heavier. I'm not going to be an anorexic elf. I am not Brager. In addition, curative, 30% resistance to sleep and charm-related spells, 60-foot infravision, and then my secret concealed doors chances as well. I don't intend to use those. I don't expect to use them, so I'll just keep this page open. I don't write them down. Their extensive contact with other races enables them to choose any of the following languages, plus any other allowed by the DM. Common, elf, gnome, halfling, goblin, hobgoblin, orc, and gnoll. The actual number of languages a character knows is limited by the intelligence.
But it doesn't say how it's limited.
Right.
God, I love these books.
Yeah, I'll just leave it how it is then. The greatest range of choices in character classes. They tend to make good druids and rangers. Half-elves can choose to be a cleric, druid. Only humans can dual class, right? Or is it only humans that can't dual class?
Humans dual class, everyone else multi-classes.
Right. I don't think I'm gonna multi-class, although it would be comical to be a multi-class fighter cleric with 4 will.
Can't. You'd need 9 will.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Minimum required. Which makes you wonder why they have a spell failure for 4 will.
Right? I think it might be something like if you're a cleric and your will gets reduced artificially somehow. If your willpower is temporarily 5 or 4.
Right.
But I'm not really sure. They stopped recording wizard stuff below 9, and so, you know.
It makes sense for clerics as well.
Yeah.
Although clerics deal with deities, and when you deal with deities, you gotta expect the unexpected. So, character name. Let's do... let's do Braille. B-R-A-E-L.
Braille.
And probably take my father's surname. What would his be? Bertrand Girder. So I am Braille Girder. G-E-R-D-U-R. Braille Girder the fighter. The half-elf fighter. Alright, so, yep, he has short, cropped hair, auburn, hazel eyes, a little taller for a half-elf. He's 5'8", 140 pounds, so he is a bit on the thinner side. He is male, age 17, right-handed. He carries a beautiful steel scimitar strapped to his waist, a wooden medium shield on his left arm, and is wearing studded leather. And I think, if you don't mind, we should probably start the day after his 17th name day, where his dad and he are kind of patiently waiting in the tavern for the first group of adventurers coming along looking for someone to
That
fight
sounds
with.
perfect. But before we do that, why don't you do a quick once over again for your background and equipment list, just to
Alright,
remind everyone.
so Braille Girder, he uh, wears on himself studded leather, a steel scimitar strapped to his waist, a wooden shield on his back currently, usually strapped to his left arm. He has a pack with a week of dry rations, a wineskin full of watered wine, and a bullseye lantern with 2 flasks of oil strapped to the side of his bag.
Okay.
He is he is a ex stable boy, a groom. He is the son of a well-known innkeep named Bertrand Girder, a retired fighter slash mercenary, and it's his birthday, or the day after his birthday, and so he's off to make his name in the world, take after his father, and be pulled by the strings of adventure.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you're looking to do, or go, or see?
I think, based upon my father's proddings, he's going to wait for a group of probably 2 or 3 coming into the bar looking for replacements or additions to their crew. His dad's words are, "Never go adventuring on your own.
Okay.
That's how you die."
What is the name of your dad's bar?
Um, let's do Fellblade Inn,
Fellblade Inn. Okay.
named after his sword, Fellblade, which rests on the mantle. A massive 2-handed sword.
Okay. So you are here the day after your name day, looking for adventurer.
I am.
Is this the sort of place where you have a lot of regulars, or is it a lot of people passing through, coming by, and they'll pass through every time they come by, but they don't live in town?
I'd say it's probably a 40-60 split. We have a few ex-adventurers who actually probably live in the inn and pay steady rent, but we'll say 60% of most people are just traveling through. It's well known enough that this is where people are sent if they're looking to find quests, or if someone in the town is looking for questing people, they're sent here. Fellblade Inn. Although probably around town it's just known as Bertrand's.
Bertrand's, right. Okay, let me just make my notes. Alright, so it is the day after your 17th name day. You are hanging around, you see your regulars, the old retired people. They're not all that old. Some of them are wounded, some of them are just done with the life and settling down, looking for a nice place to hang out. And you are eagerly looking around for a group of adventurers to join. How would you like to go about this?
So probably I'm gonna take a table next to an old retired cleric. He lives in the place. His name is probably Pete or something like that. He put down his holy symbol a while ago. He still pays fealty or homage to his god, but he's far too old to go adventuring now. He's probably 60.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit with him and I talk with him, and my father is going to be sending over anyone who is looking for additions to the group to come talk to Pete and the kid over there.
Okay. So
I'm keeping a wary eye on the door for anyone who comes in looking particularly badass.
Okay. So you're waiting by the door, talking to Pete about these things, just about what all is going on. Um, when a strange man walks in the door, he is a wizard clad in dark robes. They kind of look like a very dark red shade.
Okay.
Um, and he has this kind of dark, malevolent presence around him. He just exudes this creepy feeling. His eyebrows are very flat and narrow, like he is observing and judging everything around them. And he stands with a kind of a presence with a confidence that is uncanny.
I think Brill wants to glance at his dad. His dad, 100% has probably known or probably seen this guy as he entered, and
Oh
wants to
yeah.
look for a nod or something.
His dad is looking after the guy. You know that he keeps his weapons down below the bar for easy access if anything goes wrong, and happens to be standing over next to his loaded and ready to go heavy crossbow and I guess the two-handed sword's above the hearth, so this would probably be a short sword.
Right.
Um, the wizard goes over to speak with your father for a little bit, and they whisper in hushed tones. A few other characters enter. They look maybe like associates of this wizard because they are paying attention to the wizard. They come in and find a table near the door, but they keep their eyes mostly on the wizard and your father.
These associates, what do they look like? What are they wearing?
They're wearing normal street clothes, traveling cloaks. One of them you saw had a short sword at his side when he walked in. The other one you couldn't quite see. The first guy blocked a lot of him, but you could see a dagger on his belt. Maybe
Okay.
some other weapons, but the other guy was blocking the view. No armor. Um, and
Isn't
they,
there a fighter thing to see if I can appraise their ability by looking at them? I think that's a 5th edition thing.
I think that's a different edition. Yes.
All right. I'm pretty confident 17-year-old half-elf with a good blade at my hip. I'm thinking if it comes down to anything wonky, I can help my dad out in the fight.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna nod at Uncle Pete and then approach the bar and take a seat next to the wizard with my dad. Just try to listen in on what they're talking about.
Okay. As you approach them and sit down, they get quiet and look at you. Your dad furrows his brow and gives his head a slight shake.
All right. So I think I'm well enough to do that. I nod at him, and I don't think I quite sat down at the stool yet. I probably went up to the stool, put my drink down. He gives
Yeah,
me his head shake,
he gives his head shake while he fills another drink and hands it back to you.
and I head back over to the table with Uncle Pete.
Okay.
I whisper to him, "This might be trouble."
Uncle Pete nods his head and thumbs his holy symbol over his neck. You know, he may not be a practicing, adventuring cleric, but he keeps his faith. He keeps his things around.
Right.
You can actually start to hear the two of them whispering, but it's become loud whispers. The wizard takes a step back and begins to chant some strange words. If you would like to do something, you must roll for initiative.
All right. I will roll initiative. I should just add 3, right, for a movement of a medium creature.
If you don't want to make any sort of weapon attack and just move, then 3. If you want to make some sort of offensive action, or at least prepare an offensive action, you will need to add your weapon speed.
All right. I will prepare a weapon attack then.
Okay.
10 plus 5 for the scimitar, I believe. 12. Not very fast. But, so it's gotten to the point where I probably like stand up, push my chair back, put my hand on the pommel of my sword.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I do not have my shield equipped. It is still on my back.
Right. You notice the other guys who entered the room, as you stand up, they stand up. The man takes a few steps back, whispers his words, and darkness, magical darkness, consumes the entire bar.
Okay.
20-foot radius globe. Your bar is probably... There's probably no dimension of it that is longer than 40 feet. So I think the entire place is just shrouded in darkness.
All right.
You got a 12 on your initiative. You hear your father cursing loudly, taking a shot with... you can hear the twang of a crossbow. And the oomph of a person who just got critically shot.
Way to go, Dad.
Yeah. Way to go, Dad. Let's see. 3 and 2 is 5, and I think it's D4 plus 1 for a heavy crossbow, so that should be actually
Yeah, it's
7.
something ridiculously low.
Yeah. Poor decisions are made. Okay, so that's 7 damage to the wizard.
At the sound of the crossbow being twanged, the scimitar does leap from the scabbard.
Okay.
And a ring of steel on steel.
Okay. The music in the bar stops as the darkness hits. Voices go quiet, except for the cries of battle. And you had a 12 initiative. That's pretty terrible.
That is pretty bad.
What did the other guys have? Oh, they had way better. Okay. You hear things moving, things being knocked over, people crying out, like, hey, what the hell? Just various yells and sounds of confusion. It's your turn. What do you do?
Alright, so I have been living in this inn 17 years. I think even with my eyes closed, I could make it to the door from where I was standing.
Definitely.
So
However, there's the front door, there is a back door, which usually remains locked, and there is a door out the kitchen.
Right, I want to get to the front door because I want to man the front door. So I want to try to blindly make it to the front door and out the front door, and then turn around to ready myself for anyone leaving the bar.
Give me a dexterity check, please, as there are many things that have been moved around, and you will likely run into them.
14.
You have 4 dex?
I rolled a 4. I have 10 dex.
Oh, 10 plus. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You trip over something. Something fairly large and fairly heavy and low to the ground. You find yourself splattering out on the ground right before the bar.
Do I lose a grip of my sword?
No, you don't lose the grip of your sword. Actually, you know what? Maybe. Give me a strength check. See if you can hold on to it. Or a con check to see if you can hold on to it through the pain of your hand slamming the ground.
That's not good. But
Perfect.
I passed, just barely.
Yeah. You maintain the grip on your sword. You can get up and do some other things, but you definitely did trip over this. It'll take some extra movement, though.
Alright, so I have a 9 movement, or an 8. Did you find where it was?
9.
9, so...
Are you encumbered without your shield?
It's still on my person. It's on my back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna run to the door. I continue on my way to the door and kind of like roll my shoulders to get my shield onto my arm.
All right. You get your shield on your arm. You get your sword out. You are in the doorway. The darkness does extend out of the doorway. So as long as you're in the darkness, you can't see anything outside of it. But when you get to when you feel the doorway, you are still engulfed in darkness.
All right, I want to open the door.
The door was already open. Yeah.
It was already open? Alright, so I want to turn back facing the room and take a step back out the door.
Okay. One step out the door, it is still dark. But you are now definitely in the street.
Alright, so at this point, I just like... one step out the doorway, I'm just going to hold my shield up and try to like... ready myself to receive a charge, so to speak, with my shield up. In case someone tries to come blindly out the door.
All right. There is shouting. There is confusion. You hear your father uh, yelling at someone. Presumably, he's calling out at the name of the wizard, but there's no reply. There's a sound of more things being knocked around. The confusion's pretty rampant, but not too much else happens. And after a few minutes, you hear your dad calling for your voice or calling your name.
Yeah,
Braille,
Dad, I'm here.
where are you?
I'm out the front door.
Has anyone gotten out yet?
Not past me.
Okay, I can't see anything in here. Can you see outside? What's going on out there?
Not where I'm standing. It's still dark out here.
It gets quiet.
I think you got him, Dad.
I think so. Here, I found his body. He's definitely dead. Well, dying anyway.
The others might have went for the other door.
Maybe. If there's a little bit more discussion, and eventually you all come to the conclusion that it's probably the others have already fled or they're hiding somewhere inside. But the danger seems to have passed for now. Eventually,
Pete, can you do something with this darkness?
I'm afraid it's been a long time since I've tried to memorize any spells other than healing ones. Are either of you wounded?
No, I'm alright.
Oh, what's a pity. Eventually, your father comes over to you and goes outside, looks around. The area looks clear. And everyone's guard goes down. It takes actually half an hour for the darkness to fade away. And when it does, you guys can clearly see the body of... I guess you probably dragged him out into the street earlier to take a look at him. The wizard is dead. No one wanted to heal him, and he just slowly bled to death. I guess not that slowly. He did get shot in the chest with a crossbow.
Yeah.
When the darkness lifts, though, you look around the tavern to find that your father's greatsword, his two-handed sword, is missing from the mantelpiece.
That's not good.
It is not good.
So, I'm assuming Dad's probably already patted the wizard down.
Oh yeah, he searched the guy, pulled out all the materials from him, and are scouring it. When you come back with the report that the sword is missing,
That probably draws a roar from Dad.
you would expect so, but it's more of a long sigh. He said, that's what he was here for. He said he wanted to buy my sword, and I told him it wasn't for sale. He told me that no cost was too high, that he needed it. And I told him, no, no, no. He didn't say what for, and I really didn't want to know. That's when he did his spell. Damn wizards.
I tripped when I was trying to get to the door. The two henchmen probably got there before me. They might have gotten out. We should scour the inn. The back door is locked, right, Dad?
Yeah, it's locked, and the kitchen is shut. The cook didn't see anyone go out. You guys are outside, and you can see the local law enforcement coming over to deal with the situation. He kind of puts his hands on your shoulders, looks close to you, and says, "This is going to be a real mess to clean up. Why don't you go off and see if you can find who took it, where they're going, and all that, while I deal with the law enforcement. We'll work together later, but for now, this is on you."
I'll bring Fellblade back.
Of course.
And so I think the darkness has lifted at this point, right?
Yes.
Are we in the inn, or are we still out talking over this body?
You're in the street over the body.
I want to enter the inn and take a look at the table where the two street-clothed men were.
Okay. It seems to be fairly flat table. It's normal. There doesn't seem to be any particular sign of tampering or treatment. The two chairs are knocked over, though. Like they were just kicked backwards, as if someone got up in a hurry.
All right. So, where is Fellblade Inn located? Is that what we named it? I think
I
so.
think so. It is located in the center of town.
So there's a big main street on it,
Hmm.
and what is across from Fellblade Inn?
Across from the inn, you have. What do you have? You have a sewing circle. A bunch of seamstresses have a little place that they all come and work to together. Uh, there is a pottery, not a pottery dealer, but
A
a man
ceramics
who
shop?
a ceramic shop. Thank you. That's the term I'm looking for. A guy who makes and sells ceramics. There's lots of vases and pots and stuff like that. You have a couple of other craftsmen about here, and maybe half a block away is a large open market.
All right, I want to go over to the seamstress circle
Hmm.
and say hi to the ladies. I probably recognize most of them.
Yeah.
They're
Oh my! What's all the trouble over there? We heard shouts and cries, and there was this weird darkness emanating from the tavern. Is everything okay? We saw a body in the street.
Yeah, we had some unfortunate dealings with a wizard of malevolent nature. He tried to come in and buy Fellblade off my dad, and you can assume how that went.
Well, I saw the body. Did someone die?
The wizard cast a spell at my dad, and Dad retaliated. We did what we had to do to defend ourselves. I have a question for you ladies, though. Did you
Mm-hmm.
see anyone run from the darkness?
Mm-mm. Well, actually, maybe. Why? Yes, I did. And they start to chatter amongst themselves. Yes, yes. There were two men that came running out. They had something wrapped in their arms. It was, it looks like a large piece of fabric,
Do you
yeah,
know
a
which
big
way they
bolt.
went?
Hmm. They went east down the street towards the marketplace.
Towards the marketplace. Thank you, ladies, so much.
What
I,
do you think that was Fellblade they took?
I'm sure of it.
Oh no.
And I at once nod and start trotting into a or slight jog towards the marketplace.
Okay. You arrive at the marketplace.
Actually,
The
wait, before I do that,
Yes.
I want to swing by the inn, and inside the inn on probably like a cloak hook or something, I
Hmm.
leave my bag of rations and my lantern. It is like early morning, right?
Yeah. Not quite noon yet.
So yeah, I will leave the rations, the wineskin, and my bullseye, which should put me below encumbrance.
Fantastic. So you get to the open market. It's it's fairly busy. No one seems to have. Well, people haven't taken enough note of the ongoings at the inn to disturb the actual marketplace itself. But there are a couple of people that are looking at you as you come over. One of the merchants who you know slightly, not very well. His name is Greg.
Right.
He sells wheat. Says, "What is there a body in the street over there? What are the guards doing? What's going on?"
We don't have time to talk about it, Greg, but I do have a question for you. I need your answer. Did you see two men run this way with a wrapped package?
Yeah, a little while ago they pushed through the market, shoving people out of their way.
Do you know which way they went?
Uh huh. They took the north route towards the uh, towards the church.
Towards the church? I dig into
Mm-hmm.
my pocket and I pull out a gold coin. Are you sure that's where they went?
Mm-hmm.
I clap him in the hand. I put the gold in his hand. I say, "Thank you so much, Greg," and I start uh, bolting off towards the church.
Okay. You move your way through the market. It is pretty crowded. If they came through this way, they would definitely have to push people out of the way, or walk slowly. You break out onto the other side in kind of the end of the town square. The church is on one side, directly across from you, in front of you. To the left is the town hall. To the right is the sheriff's office. And then
All right.
there's a kind of a path to your front left and to your front right as well, leading in different directions.
I want to go to the church. So, in this town, have you decided what town we are?
Yes, you are in Fenden.
Fenden. All right. Is it a general church to all the gods, or is it a
Yes,
specific
the
god?
The temples here tend to be in honor of all the gods, and they'll have little altars for each different one,
Right.
including the more unpleasant gods. Everyone should be. They all created the world together.
Indeed. I want to run into the church and I want to look for the father.
Yes, you find a cleric there, the head of church.
Good morning. Good morning, Father. I have a question for you.
Oh, yes, it is a wonderful morning today. Martha's sunshine warms us brightly.
Quite is I did you see two men run in here
Two men?
this morning?
We've had many people come in today.
About half an hour ago.
Perhaps. What did they look like?
There were two men. One had a short sword strapped to his waist. They were in uh, common street clothes. They carried with them a package, a long wrapped package in cloth.
No, I don't recall seeing anyone by that description in here. Uh,
Are there any other priests or monks who were in here at the time?
yes, yes. I think Brother Hamlet was over there watching over things earlier today. Perhaps he saw something.
Thank you so much, Father. And I will go to Brother Hamlet.
Brother Hamlet is hanging out. He is refilling the holy water right now.
Brother Hamlet, have you seen? Yeah, I saw it too. Have you seen two men run in here with a wrapped stop, a wrapped package about yay long? They're wearing street clothes. They had weapons strapped to the waist.
No, heavens no. We've seen no armed men in here until you came in this morning. By the way, you really ought to take off your weapons before entering. It's
I'm so sorry.
disrespectful.
I'm in a very big rush. These men they came into to Fellblade Inn this morning. They stole something.
Patience is a virtue. Even those in a rush should take their time. I'm reminded of a quote. I am in a hurry, dress me slowly. It speaks to how one should always, even in the times of utmost urgency, take care to make sure everything is in its proper place.
You're all
For it's
starting to
when you're in
fidget.
a hurry, you're more likely to make a mistake that will end your day.
You're right, Father. You're right. 100% right. Thank you for your wisdom. And I just start running out.
What he calls after you a little bit, but kind of half-heartedly, and you disappear into the streets.
So on this side of the street, because there is two paths, is there on the are they on either side of the church or?
Yeah, they kind of shoot out diagonally.
All right. Which one shoots diagonally away from the inn?
The path on the right side.
All right. I
If
will
you face the
take.
church, it's on the right side.
All right. I think I will take that path then.
Okay. You follow the path for a ways. What? How far will you follow this? At what point will you?
At this point, I'm probably looking for deeper boot prints from someone running or a
No,
pair of
this is a
people.
well-traveled area. You're in a major town.
I kind of curse a little bit, realize that it's been probably close to an hour since they ran this way anyway. And I think I'll go to the sheriff's office back by the church.
Sure. The sheriff is not there. He is out, probably actually at your very tavern, but there is one constable who's left behind to deal with anyone that has any problems coming to them. He's there. His name is Clarence, and he's sitting on a desk with his feet on a chair, head in his hands, knees, elbows on his knees, looking towards the front door wistfully.
Clarence, is I'm glad you're here. I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
About an hour ago this morning, two men and a wizard walked into our bar and they tried to buy a sword for my father, and I think he threatened him. Anyway, blows were exchanged. The sword was stolen. Did you see two men run through here with a cloth wrapped package
Down the
parcel?
street? I wasn't looking out the window this whole time, so I didn't see anything myself, but any number of people could have gone past. I mean, the market's just right there. People travel around here all the time. It's kind of hard to distinguish them.
Right. In the courthouse, was there anyone? Is there anyone who would be normally stationed outside the courthouse, like guards or something?
Yes, the town hall has a guard that stands out front at all times.
All right, I want to go there. I say thank you, Clarence.
Okay. The guard sees you coming and turns to face you, and as you approach, says, "How can I help you?"
I'm having a rough morning. Have you seen two men travel through here with a wrapped parcel, about 6 feet long?
Yes, yes, I have. They took off that way. He says, pointing to the path between the sheriff's and the church, the right path, the one that you had
The one.
looked at
All right.
before.
Did you see how fast they were moving? Were they full run?
Yeah, they seemed like they were in a hurry. They looked a little suspicious, but you know,
They had fell blade.
they're gonna be in trouble.
Indeed. Thank you so much for your help. I don't suppose you could come with me to track them down. I know you have to stay stationed here.
Sorry, kid.
All right, I'm gonna run back into the sheriff's office then.
Okay, you see Clarence there. He was watching this whole interaction from through his door, from the doorway. He stands up as you approach and meets you outside.
Clarence, I found which way they're going. Do you want to be a hero?
I do. I'd love to be a hero, but the sheriff said I had to stay here.
And what would the sheriff say if you brought in two known thieves?
I think he'd say I did a really good job. All right, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, how old is Clarence? A couple years older than me?
No, he's like 27, 28.
All right.
Yeah.
And I say, this way, come on. And I start running down the right path.
Okay. The two of you head down this path. This road eventually leads out of town, and in fact, it's a straight shot all the way to the edge of town. There's no town wall. But the street does narrow a little bit as it gets closer to the exit of town.
All right. I think we just keep running down it
Okay.
until we
There are
get to the edge
plenty
of
of
town.
people in and around the area.
Probably
But
once we get.
yes.
How long are we running?
It's if you were jogging, it would take you 15 minutes to reach the edge of town.
Probably about 7 or 8 minutes in. Then I'll stop if there's anyone around the street and ask them if they saw these two men earlier this morning.
There is a beggar sitting on the street. He nods and says, I did, I did.
I kind of kneel down next to him in a squat. I pull out a gold coin. I say, "Do you know which way they went? Did they continue this way?"
For a little bit, they went into that old warehouse, he says, pointing to one of the dilapidated buildings near the edge of town.
All right. I reach back in my pocket. I pull out two other gold coins and I put them in his hands or his cup or whatever. And I say, "Thank you so much for your help."
No, thank you, young whippersnapper.
And I say, "Come on, Clarence, this way."
Okay.
And I run towards the warehouse.
The two of you make it to the warehouse. It is, as I said before, an old dilapidated building. It is in pretty bad shape. The shutters are hanging off at awkward angles. The front door probably doesn't even lock anymore. The thatch on the roof has holes in certain places. The walls are still intact, but it's definitely seen better days.
Right. I think at this point I stop. I get my shield back on my arm, draw my sword, and I
Whoa,
say,
whoa, whoa, says Clarence. Are you going to kill them? Hold on, we don't
"I'm
even
not
know
gonna.
that these people stole what you're looking for.
I'm not gonna try to kill them, Clarence. I swear. But that wizard came in spells shooting, and they are armed. I want to be as careful as I can."
Well, I heard someone died. I heard that wizard died, and if anything, your dad is the killer. So you're on thin ice here.
I understand, Clarence, but again, I want to be prepared.
All right, just let's not kill anyone unnecessarily here.
I say, "You know what? You're right." And I put my sword back in the scabbard, but I keep my shield up, and I say, "All right, let's go."
All right, you guys enter the warehouse. It is 20 feet wide, 60 feet long, and there are pillars down the center to support the roof.
How do you want to treat infravision? Do you want to treat it? I'm seeing the infrared spectrum, or I'm
No,
seeing
it's
better
low light vision, kind of like
low light vision.
it's like night vision. So you need some ambient light for it to work. And with the doors and windows open
Right.
in this area, there's enough light pouring in that your vision will work.
Yeah, probably Clarence is having a little bit hard time seeing through the shadows and stuff, but I'm seeing
Definitely.
fine.
Hmm.
So I want to scan around. I want to look for people, places,
What is the
campsites.
extent of your infravision?
60-foot infravision.
You do see two figures who are now walking towards you. A short sword. One of them has a short sword drawn.
Like
They
I
are
can
like crouched and slowly like creeping towards you.
put my hand up and I'm like, Clarence, they're coming towards us.
I can't see shit in here. Where are they?
Approximately, what'd you say, 40 feet away?
Yeah.
40 feet that way. They have the weapons.
Um,
I quietly draw the scimitar out of the scabbard.
as you draw the scimitar, they break in a run towards you. Roll initiative.
All right, they are coming towards me. Is there anything I can do to get bonuses, like to receive their charge or anything, or is it just going to be straight up?
Straight up.
All right. Oh, look at that. That's what I want to see.
Ooh, that is nice. You go. Nope, nope. Stagger is slightly faster. So the guy with the short sword runs at you. The guy with the other guy pulls out two daggers and hurls the first one at you. What's your armor class?
14.
He crits you with the dagger. Did you roll HP yet?
Brilliant. I have not rolled HP yet.
Roll HP. And don't roll low, because you just got crit.
Come on. Okay.
Okay. So in theory, they can kill you, but probably won't.
They can. Yikes.
It is indeed 6 points of damage.
Whoa.
You are close to dead. The dagger lodges heavily in your, just like, what's this called? Like in your solar plexus, breaking the cartilage in your ribs that holds your ribs together. It is very painful, but you get your sword out and ready in time as the other guy makes his charge at you, which gives him a penalty of 1 to his armor class.
Quiet, chat. I'm not dead yet.
Not yet, but...
Alright, so he gets a penalty of 1 to his AC, or I get a +1 on my roll?
He gets a penalty of 1 to his AC.
Alrighty. Oh, do I have to roll a saving throw versus crit, or is that house rules?
No, that's house rules. We're not going to be doing any of that.
Okie doke. So he closes. This guy has a dagger or a short sword?
He has a short sword. No clothes.
Clarence, get my back! Ah, damn it.
6 is a... Is that including your +1 to hit?
I did not add a +1 to hit.
Aren't you specialized with the scimitar?
I am specialized with scimitar, so that would be a 7.
7.
So
he has no clothes, or no armor. That brings his AC to 9, and he is fighting in partial darkness, which brings his AC actually to 7, which is a hit.
Brilliant.
That infravision has worked out for you. Otherwise, you would be rolling at -2 or 3.
I would. D8. That's...
Wow.
good.
So he comes at you, short sword in hand, and right before he can drive it through you, you hack into his side, spilling his blood everywhere, and he collapses to the ground. Clarence's eyes are still adjusting to the darkness in here, and he just holds his weapon. The man with the dagger hurls another one at you. Natural one.
Okay, thank God.
But it goes nowhere useful. Roll me initiative.
Yes, yep. 10 plus 5. Oh, look at that again.
Oh my god. You lucky bastard. You go just before the guy with throwing daggers. You rolled a 7 initiative.
I am going to close in on him and give him a slash in the face.
Clarence once again rolls a natural 10.
Clarence, you're useless. 11
Kind
should
of is.
hit.
11 hits. Give me a damage roll.
6 damage.
He does not die. He is badly wounded though, and takes this as an opportunity to withdraw. So dagger in hand to kind of like ward off any incoming blows, he retreats at 1/3 of his movement rate, which is still enough to make it to a back window. Do you press after him or do you let him?
Is there a dagger still stuck in my armor on my chest?
Yes.
I think I'll just drop my sword, pull the dagger out, and I want to huck it at him.
Okay.
I am
You've already
not
made an
proficient.
attack this round, so that would be a next round action.
It
So
would.
you can choose to pursue him as he withdraws, or you can let him withdraw. It's your call.
I'm gonna pursue him then.
Okay. So he backs, warily towards the window, one of the windows, and tries to like sit and back roll out of it.
So-
Dex check for him.
They are saying in chat that if he tries to make it through the window, I get an attack of opportunity.
I
Oh, and I
think
should have 2 attacks this round, by the way.
you
I am
should.
a specialist.
Second attack is at the end of the round, and chat
Right.
may be saying that, but chat is just making up things without any regard for the truth of the
Chat,
matter.
how could you?
He is taking withdraw action, and he is backing out the window with a nice fluid back roll, and he passes his dex check. He quickly slips out, rolls out the window, and dashes off into the street. You can pursue and try and hurl a dagger at him next round.
Do I think that if I pursued him, I'd still be in range to throw the dagger? Like, how far did he get?
Well, he's just on the other side of the window, and you're both humans, so you run at the same movement rate. So, in
Right.
theory, if you win initiative, you could chase after him and hurl a dagger.
I'll go for it. Dagger's speed 2, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Was that
never mind.
5? Yeah. You try to go out, but he was so smooth with that window, it takes you a little bit longer. And by the time you start to run after him, he's already got a good enough lead. You could throw a dagger at -5 to hit for long range.
Are the people in the street?
Yes.
Do I have a chance of hitting them if I miss too badly?
Yes.
Then I will not throw the dagger.
Okay.
Chaotic good. No, I'm not gonna throw the dagger.
Okay.
I'm gonna duck back in the window and retrieve my fallen sword.
All right. You pick it up. Clarence is standing over the corpse, scratching his head, going, "Well, he did come at us."
Clarence, there's
At
a
least-
hole in my chest.
Yeah. But I couldn't see anything.
Clarence, there's a hole in my chest.
Yeah, but did that hole happen before or after you cut this man down? Were they defending themselves or were you defending yourself?
How could he make it to me? Clarence, they weren't there when we got in.
That's what
And-
you say, but again, I couldn't see anything. It's dark in here. My eyes were adjusted to the bright light outside.
The door's still open.
Look, we don't all have elven blood running through our veins. It's really dark. You don't understand how long it takes our eyes to adjust. Okay? I couldn't see shit.
Alright, I wanna pat down this body in front of Clarence.
On it, you find a bag with 30 gold coins.
I pull
And
up
then you
this
find
bag.
a separate bag with like 15 silver and 35 copper.
I heft the bag that has the 30 coins in it. I throw it in the air, catch it in my hand, and I say, Clarence, they came towards us, and I push it against his chest.
Ooh, give me a charisma check. You
Ah, God.
bastard. You are trying to bribe the town guards?
Clarence and I have known each other for a long time, and he loves me.
He takes the bag and tucks it into his armor and says, "Well, you're a good kid. It's unlikely that they... All right. Any idea what they were doing in here?"
Probably hiding out. I wanna turn around. And I wanna go check for the sword for Fellblade somewhere in here.
You look around. You don't see it anywhere in here. No, they're like a quick check of the premise does not reveal Fellblade.
So this is a warehouse, an old dilapidated warehouse. What
Yes.
is in it? Are they just like broken down crates?
It's pretty much empty. Anything of value has been taken out a long time ago. There's still some shelves, like some old rotting shelving units placed along the sides, but everything else is completely empty. The spot where the two men were talking when you first stepped in is against one of the wall on the left side, kind of below a shuttered window that is fully shuttered with some boards nailed over it to keep it shut.
All right. I want to take probably 10 minutes, maybe 15. 15 minutes to just do a proper search of this area.
Okay. You do a proper search of the area and turn up nothing. It looks like an empty warehouse.
And to think Fellblade's worth 30 gold. He kind of shakes his head. Is there, you said there was like a back room to the warehouse or something?
There's a back door that leads
All right,
outside.
I'll go through the back door.
Okay, it
My
leads pretty much
chest
the
really
same spot
hurts.
as where the window exited. There's not much out here. The back door is actually kind of stuck. It required like a shoulder pushing to knock it all the way open.
So, did I immediately kill that guy with my sword?
No, he was not knocked
But it's
to
been
negative.
15 minutes because I said it's been 15 minutes. He's dead.
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
So, when I slashed him and then I chased after the guy that would be one more round, he wouldn't have been bled. He wouldn't have bled out in that time.
Probably not. If you had
And then,
managed to get to him within a couple of minutes, probably could have.
so this guy is on the ground and Clarence started talking over him and he's still bleeding out.
A few minutes ago, yeah, he's unconscious. He's basically dead. It's the sort of thing where, well, they're about to die. They're in their like final moments of life. You should probably just end it for him. But if you were a really good healer, you might be able to make a difference here. It's that sort of like, someone's got terminal cancer and like a week left to live, and you're like, whoa, you're basically dead, but you're not quite there yet. It's unlikely for
Yeah.
anything to change.
All right. I will stow my scimitar, pat my hands, and I think I'm gonna follow back into the street. They were probably meeting someone here. Are there any like this warehouse? No one usually comes in here, other than my boots and their boots. Did I notice anything else? I'm not a proficient tracker, so it'd be hard to tell. But anything's worth a shot, especially an old, dilapidated warehouse.
Yeah, there's a nice thick layer of dust covering everything. You can see there are some tracks that are really hard for you to follow. You can't make out enough to discern if there were more people or less people, or how many people have come through here. But you can detect where the general area that has not been disturbed yet.
Other than like one set going to the back door and back from the back door, is there anyone else? Any other tracks leading to the back door?
No tracks leading to the back door, but it looks like most of the disturbed area is on the left side of the building. It kind of looks like they went in and went towards the center of the building and then just moved over to the left side, and then there's all the scuffle tracks that you guys have been hanging out in.
So it doesn't look like anyone else met them in here.
Nope.
All right.
Give
What's Clarence doing at this
give me an
point?
intelligence check, if you would.
Plus my 8 intelligence and crit.
Ooh. All right. So in examining these tracks, something appears a little off. As I said, there are columns that run down the center of the building to support the roof. And the tracks, there's one column in particular that has disturbed dust and ground all the way around the column. And that's the center column.
Okay, I'm going to go to the column.
Yeah, you're looking at this. Someone was definitely, or some people were definitely in the vicinity of this column and all around it.
I think I'm going to knock on the wood of the column, try to see if it's hollow.
It is not hollow. It is quite sturdy.
Run my hand around the outside of it, then
kinda
lean back
rough.
against it, looking at the tracks in the ground. So the bottom of the warehouse is wood, right?
No, it is dirt.
Dirt? Does it look disturbed at all?
It does not look like it has been dug. Looks like,
Mm,
you know, some scuff marks here and there.
all right. Um, and you said there were shelves. Are they high enough that I can see onto the shelves,
Yeah.
or are they up higher?
No, you can see onto most of the shelves. Or the ones that you couldn't, you could step on a lower shelf and look above.
Yeah, I want to check the shelving on the left
Okay.
side of the warehouse.
The shelves are all empty.
Clarence, can you see yet?
Yeah, my eyes have adjusted. It's pretty empty here.
That's what I'm afraid of. I can't find fell blade in here anywhere.
Well, you think they took it out and came back in?
Maybe. I think I wanna duck out the window and check around there to see if is anything around the window.
No, it's kind of a nice day outside. There's some trees out back, birds nesting in them. There's a squirrel running around. You can see there's a well in town that, yeah, there's a well over here that some people are drawing water from and some people are washing their clothes next to.
Within eyesight of the warehouse?
Hmm.
Alright. I want to go over to the well. Is that bigger? Was he like sitting against the well? Where was he?
No, he would. This is the back side of the warehouse. He was on the front side of the
Okay.
warehouse across the street.
Alright, I'll go to the well.
Hmm.
My chest wound's still aching.
Yeah, the people at the well see you approach, and they keep scrubbing, but their eyes look up at you.
Two women you said? Or
Yes.
men and women?
No, two
Alright. I
women.
want to ask them if. First, I'll ask them, ladies, how long have you been here?
Most of the day.
Brilliant. Have you seen two men carrying a long parcel? I believe they went. I know they went into that warehouse back there. Did you see them come out with that parcel?
I only saw the guy that you were chasing.
Do you know which way he ran?
He went off that down that way, took a left once he got past the coppersmith's shop.
Thank you so much. Could you spare a cup of water? I seem to have been miraculously stabbed in the chest.
Oh my. They help to wash out your wound and tend to it.
I probably don't spend more than a minute there before I say thank you very much, and I start headed off.
Hmm.
Is Clarence behind me still,
He's
or is he
still
staying in?
inside.
All right, before I head off, then I'm gonna tell Clarence I'm gonna take off after the other assailant.
All right. Well, I'm going to see if I can't drag this guy back to the inn. Actually, you did kill him, and there's probably going to be some questions and an inquiry. You mind helping me drag this guy back to the sheriff's office?
Clarence, I gotta find Fellblade.
And that guy didn't have it.
No, but these guys did have it.
He's.
And this one's dead. The other one's alive and talking.
What'd you find out in back?
There's these two ladies washing clothes. They saw him head back. I know which way he went. I have a lead,
All
Clarence.
right. So the beggar says they brought it in here. The women out back says no one came out the back. It's got to be in here somewhere.
I don't see it, Clarence.
Well, help me drag this body back to the sheriff's shop, and then you can figure it out.
What if he comes back looking for it?
You really think he's going to come back to the place where his buddy was killed and we are here now?
You've heard the stories of Fellblade. A wizard came to our inn looking for it. It has to mean something.
Well, if you want to stay here, that's fine.
I won't move an inch.
Grumble and grumble. He hefts the body over a shoulder and starts making his way down the street. You're pretty sure, well, everyone else, all the evidence seems to point that the blade is somewhere in this warehouse, but you've searched it. There's really nothing in here. Where is it?
I look up. Are there rafters?
There are rafters.
They're in the middle of this room. I want to see if maybe they threw it up there.
Well, it's pretty dark up there. You do have some infravision. It's a complicated mess of beams and boards. You can't really tell from down here. Maybe if you climbed up into the rafters, you could get a better look.
All right, this is the stupidest thing. I want to go. So he was dragging the guy away.
Hmm.
Before he ran out, I want to ask for the guy's belt. Actually, you know what? I'll just do this.
Belt?
Yeah, I'm gonna use my belt for my sword. So the dagger he threw at me, I'm going to put in my teeth. I'm gonna use my belt around the middle pillar. I'm
Hmm.
gonna try to shimmy my way up, Mulan style.
Exactly what I was going to say. Okay, give me a dexterity check to
God, this is
shimmy your
so
way.
stupid. God,
You are in no condition to be shimmying. Your chest was just stabbed with a dagger. It hurts.
yeah. I did consider getting my lantern and burning down the warehouse, but that's not gonna happen.
Burning down the warehouse.
I'm chaotic. That's not gonna happen though. I cannot. I cannot. Yeah, no. I think at this point I'll try to go catch up with Clarence, build my sword back on, and help him carry the body back to the sheriff, and then I'm gonna head back to the inn.
Okay, your father is actually back at the sheriff's office with the whole police force. The dead wizard is laid out, and you and Clarence come in and lay out another body next to it. Everyone stops and looks at you guys as you lay the body down, and Clarence goes, "Well, we ran into a little problem chasing these guys. This dude here came at us in a warehouse. Uh, our boy over there cut him down, but if you look at that, there's some blood leaking out of him. He got stabbed pretty badly. Your dad comes over in kind of a paternal, oh God, my son's been wounded. You
I
know,
kind of like if he's trying to fuss with me, I kind of brush him off and I say the other one got away. I I got a blow on him, but he ran out the back of the warehouse. I know which way he went, but they didn't. They came in with Fellblade, and they did not leave with it. It has to be in that warehouse somewhere. But I spent close to half an hour checking.
well, everyone exchanges looks. Let's go search the warehouse. And the sheriff goes, no, you have a lot more explaining to do. Now there's not just one dead body, there's two. And I can understand some crazy wizard coming in wanting to steal your weapon, but now we're talking grand conspiracy.
Sheriff, you can ask Clarence. We entered. They came at us immediately.
Well,
They
you're
had
free to
weapons
go,
drawn.
but you, he says, pointing to your dad, I need to answer. I need a lot more answers from you. You're gonna
Can I
have to
take a
tell
few
me
of your
everything you
constables?
know about Fellblade.
Can I take a few of your constables to help me check?
Clarence, go with him.
Okay, that's brilliant. I guess we head back to the warehouse. It was about 10 minutes away. You said from the sheriff's department.
Yeah, at a jog.
Yeah, because I stopped around 7 or 8 to talk to the beggar.
Hmm.
I'll enter the warehouse with Clarence again. This time I am almost 100% ready because I expect this guy to have come back looking for Fellblade.
It is pretty empty in here, just as before.
I want to check the back door and the window again for any new tracks since I left.
You know, if there were new tracks, you wouldn't be able to tell. You're not a proficient tracker. The ground area is disturbed, and that's pretty much all you can tell.
All right. I looked at Clarence. Clarence, you feeling agile today?
Sure. What's going on?
I'm gonna boost you up that beam over there. I want you to check the rafters.
All right. You give him a boost, and he immediately finds the sword tucked away up there in the rafters.
Whew. I reach my hands up for it.
All right. He gives it
He
back
lowers it.
to you and drops back down and goes, well, we found it.
That was pretty easy and almost. I looked down at my chest. Never mind, it wasn't painless at all.
Easy. You spent half an hour searching this place.
I thought it was up there, but
You
I'm in
know,
no
maybe
condition to
next
be
time you
falling from
should leave
rafters.
matters like this to the law. We're much more capable of handling them.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Hmm. Yeah. You guys come back to the sheriff's station, sword intact, wrapped in a dark cloak. Um,
So this dark cloak, was it just one of the ones they were wearing?
maybe. You don't really. Well, give me an intelligence check to see if you can remember what they were wearing. No, you have no idea. You can't even remember what race they were.
All right, I don't have a cloak. I'll clip it on. I'll
Okay.
strap Fellblade over my back.
Hmm.
Proudly march back to the sheriff's department to my dad.
Okay. You guys come back, and your father quickly takes the sword from you. Um, and there was much rejoicing. And I think that's pretty much it for this.
I think so.
You will never find out who took it or why, but there's definitely an interest in this sword.
That's two in a row, Neil. Two lives in a row.
You know, most people have lived. There have only been a few deaths. Three, four? It's like a quarter of the population. The quarter of the auditioneers have died. Maybe we'll get the last two as well.
I need to go
Well,
tell Uncle Pete I finally got hurt.
he will be thrilled that he can spend a couple of cure light wounds on you. Uh, so happy. So that's it for this. Thank you for playing.
No
Um,
problem.
we've got shenanigans in like 2 hours or an hour and a half or something like that. But do you have any last words, CJ? Anything you'd like to say before we call it a night?
Nope. Just thanks, Neil. Thanks, chat. And I'm gonna miss Braille Gertrand or Girder.
Well, that's it. See you guys later. Bye bye.
Bye.